What's going on, guys? Going to talk about SoFi today. So we had some news come out that pretty much gave back yesterday's gains, which is kind of funny because we talked about in yesterday's video how SoFi tends to struggle with this supply zone around that 29.30 mark. As we approach that 29.30 mark, news comes out and we reject the breakout. So technicals and news tend to line up. So our weekly breakout was more of a fake out at the moment. We will get into the chart and flow, but here is what basically happened. So Goldman Sachs and Bank of America were offered shares at $27.50. Once the offering was complete, they downgraded it. A lot of people, including myself, were kind of confused. Why would they buy the shares and then downgrade it against what they just bought? So let's go to ChatGPT. So it does look shady. Underwriting is an endorsement, and it looked very bullish when they were buying these shares. But the $27.50 price worked because the offering price is set by demand, not the bank's research opinion. So once the deal clears, they're allowed to change their rating, but during the open offering, they're restricted from changing their rating. So once the deal's done, the restriction ends, and they can post their real view. Is this legal? Yes. Underwriting and equity research are legally separated teams. It feels coordinated, but on paper, it's compliant. And this basically means, thanks for buying at $27.50. By the way, we think this is worth $20 to $24, which is their downgraded share price. The offer price is not equal to fair value. Bank price targets are not promises. Capital raises often act as short-term tops because dilution. Banks stop supporting the price after distribution, and research resets lower. Bottom line, this wasn't a mistake or hypocrisy. It's how Wall Street works. Banks sell stock, collect fees, then publish their real opinions. Is this surprising? Only the first time you see it. So that's pretty much what happened to SoFi today. Down pretty much the move that we got up and sold off all the way down to 26, but did have a decent recovery, about $1 of recovery. But I want to show you guys the chart because this is technically just a breakout retest. All right, so we are on the weekly chart as posted in yesterday's video, and we basically broke out, approached our supply zone, tapped that, and then news came out, and now we are at the retest zone. If SoFi can hold here, we can make our ways back up, and we might get a nice push. If we break down below, then we can refer to our wave 4 that we talked about in last night's video, and we might be able to see this come down to 23. IWM currently is carrying the market, had a very good day. All right, and getting into IWM, which helps these smaller cap, high beta stocks like SoFi and Oklo out. It had a great day, breaking out on the daily and weekly. It did leave a little bit of a gap below, which eventually will get filled. It doesn't have to get filled anytime soon, but it looks like IWM is trying to push for previous month high, which is actually all-time highs. So they're going to go try to test that, and you're either going to see a break above it or a rejection. But if IWM keeps this up, SoFi should be able to recover along with the smaller cap, high beta market. Oklo is doing just fine as well. If we see IWM pull back, well, then SoFi will pull back further. But here's what that looks like on the weekly. A very clean breakout after that low volume sell-off end of the year. You're seeing volume pile into the market now and pick up these oversold growth stocks. Now getting into some flow, we see that you did have some dip buyers step in on SoFi. So 1.1 million calls, 1.2 million in puts. So a lot more put flow compared to yesterday. For Oklo, we are seeing 341K to the call side. And if we were to check out IWM, 8 million in calls, 4.4 million in puts. And, those puts are out to December. If we were to just filter this to, let's say, over the next 3 weeks, you're seeing a lot more to the call side. And then here's that Oklo chart. So we do have that gap below. We are up 15% on shares in 2 days. So, we could expect a pullback anytime now, maybe another retest breakout. but it is approaching that 97 mark. It rejected it for the first try today. Once we get over that, you're looking at like that 100, 102 mark, and then hopefully all the way back up to this blue zone here. But on the weekly, it is starting to peak over and try to break out. So that's what we have for Oklo right now. I am probably going to maybe trim some shares or just set a stop loss in profit because those shares are already up pretty nicely. The reason I'm thinking about trimming some Oklo is because if you look at this weekly kind of rising wedge bear flag breakdown, it broke down from the same mark it's currently at now all the way down to about 70. It's recovered quite a bit, and now it's approaching this resistance, so it could easily reject around 97. It could try to revisit previous month value area high at 100. If it reclaims that, then you're going to be looking for that 114 mark. But I'm thinking about trimming just because this is quite the move in just 2 days, and I might want to lock in some profits. So that's kind of how I think when it comes to trading. Don't want to get too greedy, want to lock in some profits as we approach this IWM all-time high, and then I'll just leave some to run. And then I just wanted to end this video with 2 stocks to keep on watch if IWM continues to rally. Now, these 2 stocks are UUUU, which is energy fuels, and then USAR, which is rare earth. So with Trump in office, his policies tend to help these kinds of stocks out. Not a specific Trump pump, but his news and speaking about his policies tend to help these. So we've seen these actually pump in October all the way up to 44. It's currently sitting at 17 with a nice gap above. It looks like it's double bottoming. If it can break over 19 and hold, then your next stop should be about 23. If more bullish news, whether he gives a speech or policies, can help push this higher, then it seems like a pretty good risk reward here. As far as UUUU, it is breaking out of this pennant and above previous month high. Now your next stop is going to be the 18 and 19 range. If it can break over this, we are looking to hit 22, and then all-time highs is at 27. So if we look at the flow for USAR, 341K to the call side in the month of January, and then UUUU, not much flow for this one, but 34K. They should run similarly, but just 2 I wanted to point out and let you guys know about. So please like and subscribe and have a good one.